everyone, I'm Jorly. In this series, we're learning about how we can be people of unwavering faith in God. We have a new memory verse this month, and it's Ephesians 3:20. With God's power working in us, God can do much, much more than anything we can ask or imagine. God can do such incredible things. He has great things planned for our lives. He can do big things that may seem impossible for us, but with God on our side, anything is possible. But first, let's stand up, stretch, and sing a song to Jesus.
Welcome to Sabina's Boot Camp. Pastor Jorly, are you ready to become physically fit and spiritually ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go. Let's begin with some stretches. Reach to the one side.
Ooh, okay.
Good stretch. And the other side. And now we're going to reach down to our toes. And let's do some high knees. Reach one knee up. Hold it for 2 seconds. 1, 2, and down. Reach the other knee up. 1, 2, and down. And now we do fast feet for 5 seconds. Go. 1, 2, 3. Faster. 4, 5, and stop. And now let's do jump up 5 times and down to the floor. Ready? Go. 1 and down. 2 and down. 3 and down. 4, one more time, and 5 and down. And we are done. Thank you, Ms. Jorly.
Woohoo, I did it.
Hello, everyone. So good to see you. Why don't we stand up? Let's sing, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I love to sing your praises. I'm so glad you're in my life. I'm so glad you came to save us. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. You came from heaven to earth to show the way. From the earth to the cross, my debt to pay. From the cross to the grave, from the grave to the sky, Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Lord, I lift your name on high. Oh, that was wonderful. Thank you for worshiping with me. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Take care.
You are the light, you live in me. Help me to love like you love me. Even when I want to go my own way, Jesus, you make me strong. No, I won't give up, even when it's tough. I'm gonna shine my light for you. Yes, I will do good, and I will be kind. I'm gonna shine my light for you. I'll shine for you. Lord, I'll be patient, and I will share, so others see how much you care. Even when I want to go my own way, Jesus, you make me strong. No, I won't give up, even when it's tough. I'm gonna shine my light for you. Yes, I will do good, and I will be kind. I'm gonna shine my light for you. I'll shine for you. I'll shine for you. I'll shine for you. it's tough, I'm gonna shine my light for you. Yes, I will do good and I will be kind. I'm gonna shine my light for you. No, I won't give up, even when it's tough. I'm gonna shine my light for you. Yes, I will do good and I will be kind. I'm gonna shine my light for you. I'll shine 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 for you.
Great singing, everyone. Now we're going to learn about David and Goliath. In this Bible story, we're going to hear about how even though David was facing a really scary situation by going into battle against a giant named Goliath, he chose to trust that God would take care of him. In David's story, we will learn about how we can trust and know that God will take care of us too. Sometimes it can be such a hard thing to remember when we are in such scary situations. But God promises that he will always take care of us, no matter what. Let's watch it together.
There once was a giant named Goliath who taunted the Israelite army, yelling terrible things about God and hurling insults at them. The Israelites were terrified of him. Even King Saul was afraid. Goliath asked for one Israelite soldier to fight him, man to man, but no one would come forward except for a young shepherd boy named David. David went to King Saul of the Israelites and said, "I will fight Goliath. I am not afraid." King Saul doubted David because he was only a boy, and he said, "Don't be ridiculous. There's no way you can win." But David told Saul about how he had scared off and killed fierce and wild animals that had tried to get his father's sheep, and how he used his shepherd's staff and his slingshot to protect the flock. David knew that with God on his side, he could do the same to Goliath. So King Saul let David go, but he made David try on his own armor to use as protection. The armor was heavy and clunky, and David was not used to it, so he chose to leave the armor behind. He knew in his heart that he only needed God's protection, his slingshot, and 5 smooth stones to defeat the giant. Goliath laughed at David when he approached him, calling him bad names and taunting him too. But David was not afraid. He said to Goliath, "God will hand you over to me, and I will strike you down. It is God who will conquer you, and I will win." And so, David put one smooth stone into his slingshot, aimed right at Goliath, and fired. Goliath fell to the ground, dead. And so, the giant was defeated by a young shepherd boy named David.
The story of David and Goliath is a popular story. Goliath is a big and scary giant, and here's little David, just a little guy, believed that God will protect him, and he did. Goliath can represent some things in our lives, like an actual bully in school, or something that scares you that you don't know how you're going to overcome, or something happening at home. The story of David and Goliath tells us that God will be with us, and that with God, he can help us overcome the hard things in our life. So who are some people you trust? We can choose to trust many things or people, but the Bible tells us we can always trust God. We can trust that he will take care of us. He will never let us down. One of the many ways we can have daring faith in God is by trusting him and knowing that he will meet our needs. Now, let's watch this video defining what the word faith and believe means.
What does it mean to believe? The dictionary definition of the word believe is to accept something as true. Simple enough, right? But what does it take for us to accept something as being true? We see rain clouds, and we believe it is going to rain. We feel our stomachs rumble, and we believe that we are hungry. What about believing things we cannot see? For example, gravity. Most of us know that gravity keeps people, cars, pets, and many other things on the ground. But if someone asked you to draw a picture of gravity, what would you draw? No one knows what gravity itself looks like, but we do know what the effects of gravity look like. Without it, we'd all be floating away right now. So, what does the Bible say about this word, believe? The Bible says all things are possible to him who believes. Many people who did not believe Jesus asked him for a sign that what he was saying was true. Jesus said they were wrong to ask for this proof. Why were they wrong? What then does Jesus want us to do? He wants us to believe his words, even if we don't see the kind of proof we are looking for in that moment. Again, in Matthew 21:22, Jesus says, "If you believe, you will receive whatever you ask for in prayer." That is a pretty powerful statement. So, I wonder, through God, is there really power in the act of believing?
We hope this helped define what faith and believing means. Now, it's time to do a quick trivia with Space Goat to see how much we remember from our Bible story.
For thousands of years, people have looked up to the stars and wondered what's beyond. Thoughts of distant galaxies, strange planets, and possibly even life, unlike any we've known on Earth. But no one could have ever imagined in the deep expanse of our universe lives one furry creature with 4 legs and a jetpack. Bob. His name is Space Goat, and he's here to help you, and he's here to help us, here to help us answer life's toughest questions. How tall was Goliath? Over 9 feet? 1,000 inches? 3 feet. Exactly! Goliath was over 9 feet tall. Well done, cadets. Goliath was part of what army? The Hamster Army? The Philistine Army? The Syrian Army? Yes, indeed, Goliath was in fact part of the Philistine Army. Well done. What gave David the confidence that he would win against Goliath? He read it in a fortune cookie? He trusted that God was on his side? Or he lifted a lot of weights? Perfect! David trusted that God was on his side. Until next time, stay spacey, cadets.
Challenger, go and throttle up.
Good job with the trivia, everyone. How would you feel if you were going into a battle with Goliath? I would probably be scared. Even though this was probably a scary situation to be in, David chose to have daring faith and remember that God would always take care of him. David knew that with God on his side, he would be able to defeat Goliath. We can have giant slaying faith too when we remember that God's promises to always take care of us. We can always put our trust in him. The Bible tells us that we can choose to put our trust in God. Remember, God's love for us is bigger than any scary giant. No matter what situation we may be facing, maybe at school or even at home, we can put our complete trust in God alone. He will always take care of us. We can have a relationship with God when we put our hope and trust in him. We're now reaching the end of our lesson for today. Go grab your journals and reflect on what God is speaking to you. Here are our questions. Question 1. Is there a time where you were faced with a scary or difficult situation? What did you do?
Ephesians 3:20.
What are some things in your life that feels like a big giant? Write them down and ask God to help you with each giant in your life.
We can ask or imagine. Ephesians 3:20. With God's power working in us, God can do much more than anything we can ask.
What are some ways you can practice trusting God this week?
Ephesians 3:20. With God's power working in us, God can do much more than anything we can ask or imagine. Ephesians 3:20.
The Bible tells us that we can choose to put our trust in God. Remember, God's love for us is bigger than any scary giant. No matter what situation we may be facing, maybe at school or even at home, we can put our complete trust in God alone. He will always take care of us. We can have this relationship with God when we put our hope and trust in Him. We miss you and can't wait to see you again. Remember that Jesus loves you so much, and so do we. See you later. Bye.